Hello everyone, I'm Pacific and welcome to an episode of Character Guides for Oblivion. I haven't done one of these. This is my first one. We're going to get into it. This is the Battlemage. How do you make a Battlemage? What does Battlemage do? All that good stuff. Start this off, you want to either pick a warrior or mage class depending on whether you're going to end up using swords or maces or magic more. Me, I prefer the warrior because I don't typically do good with Battlemage magic. I just build a sword fighter and kill things. That's what I do. The next thing is those two major attributes. You want to pick either endurance or strength, and then you want to pick either intelligence or willpower. Me, I like to go either strength or endurance, but I always go intelligence because that increases my main magic, and that's really what I'm going for. Is you can have high health, high magic, or be tougher, deadlier, and still have, your high magic. Now what I do for the star sign is there's two star signs you can go with. You can go with the warrior, which is heavy armor and fighting, or you can go with the mage, which is what I go with. I go with the mage, which is just straight up 500 magic. The other options you got are the apprentice, which gives you the 100 magic, but you are weak to magic, so if you can deal with that, the apprentice is way better. There's also the atronach. But the thing about that is even though you get a lot of magic, you do need to find a spell absorption, do the mage's guild quick, get that spell absorption amulet, so you can at least do something. Now skills can be really tricky with this character because there's not a lot to work with, but there is a lot to work with. One of the ones that I always pick is heavy armor because you're a freaking battle mage. You're built for battle. You do heavy armor and destruction. Those are the two main skills you want. Now, your choice of weapon, I would say don't go with the bow because destruction magic has range. You can still go with a bow, but it would be better if you picked either blade, blunt, or hand-to-hand depending on how you like to play. Me, I prefer blade because I just do, so I usually use a sword. So with those three down, a weapon, the heavy armor, and destruction, the fourth section I usually go with is actually alteration for the protection magic and the feather magic. Protection is obvious, you need protection, protection against stuff because you're a freaking battle mage, right? You need to protect yourself. But I really like feather because in the early game, you can't carry a lot of stuff because you got heavy armor on, and once you have to master heavy armor to get your speed back, you have to expert heavy armor so it doesn't weigh you down. And it's really good to have that extra feather spell to not weigh you down. Those are the four main skill points. Extra ones that I like to pick, armor and alchemy, because those two are very passive. You don't need to really worry about stuff. I usually go with armor, alchemy, and restoration. Those are the three: armor, alchemy, restoration, security, and athletics. Those 5 skills are super passive. You can just go with them and you'll do them along the way, repairing stuff, making potions, running around. Even though athletics is a really hard one to level up, you can still just run back and forth and kill stuff, especially if you do a lot of dungeoneering. Sneak, not so much because you're using heavy armor. If you can stand, like if you put your boots in a hotkey and take them off when you sneak, that's a viable strategy. Some of the things you want to watch out for is when you're going into the Daedric portals. You want to make sure that you have at least 2 different types of destruction spells in case you come across a couple shock, frost, or flame atronachs, or the weird Zixilvi, however you say it, thing that just absorbs all magic. That's why you want to carry around a sword or fisticuffs, axe, whatever. Then I would highly recommend 2 types of weapons. I usually go with the sword, and I pick a soul trap sword, so Umbra, that's the obvious choice for a soul trap sword. And then a sword that does lots of damage. Usually I end up finding a couple of them. My go-to thing is a Frost Claymore and Umbra, along with a decent shield like Spellbreaker. But some other combos that I like is a soul trap weapon and 2 damage weapons. Those can be really, really good in late game. Downsides to this character is that their agility, speed, personality, and luck are going to be really, really low. Something to counteract the lack of agility, since, you don't stand up when you run out of agility, is to either get a restoration spell that fortifies your agility, carry some fortified agility potions around, or use your magic a little more than your weapon, and just save yourself some fatigue, that way you don't fall over. Speed, you just have to master heavy armor. That's what it comes down to. You know, leveling up might happen, who knows. And luck and personality, can't really do much about them. Willpower, you might get up there, but you might not. There are two very precise ways that I play a battle mage in Oblivion. The first is that I use my sword or axe a lot and just use destruction spells to finish the enemies off. The good thing about this is that I have, you know, restoration magic left to heal myself after a fight. The bad part is I run out of fatigue, so I get knocked down a lot. Right, this gets counteracted by endurance though. Or the flip side is you use all of your destruction magic and then beat up enemies. What this comes down to is it's good to save your fatigue if you're using a larger weapon. The larger the weapon, the more you want to rely on your magic, because your fatigue is going to go down a lot. If you use a dagger, you can just swing away at enemies, not worry about your magic. But if you have a claymore like me, or maybe even a battle axe or warhammer, you really want to use your magic to help you with those, because those weapons use a lot of fatigue and you don't want to fall down when you're fighting a bunch of enemies. Of course, you know, late in the game, you collect so many potions that sometimes it doesn't even matter, but I'm just saying that in case you run out of potions. That's really all of my tips for this type of character. I like the Battlemage because I suck at it and I want to get better at it. That's really why I like the Battlemage, and that's what I'm using in my main series on my channel, my Let's Play of Oblivion, and my live streams of Oblivion. I use the same character because it takes a freaking long time to level up after level 20. So that is it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to hear some character sets, go ahead and suggest those in the comments below, and I can give you advice on how to build them in Oblivion. I'm Pacific. See you guys in the next episode of whatever I decide to make.